Hello and welcome to another edition of Chuckles Madden. I'm your host, Chuckles152, found on Twitter, YouTube, and on TikTok at Chuckles152. Tonight, we're talking wrestling, my favorite sport, the sport I coach, the sport I was a Pennsylvania prep school state champion in back in 2006. And specifically, we are going to be talking about a write-up by Matt Scout Willie, a famous wrestling writer who I feel did my godson pretty dirty. And we're going to get into that tonight. So, this is the first part of his write up, and I'm going to read it and I'm going to interject. So, I'm going to read it in a different tone than I read everything else. High school heavyweights won't miss Feldman, though, as he just simply dominated everyone he faced this year. Absolutely true. And Preps was no different. In the final, he put on a takedown clinic, teching the Brooklyn Bear Billy Brosco with ease. Number one, Billy's not from Brooklyn. I don't know why you would give him that nickname. Just doesn't even make any sense, but let's continue. The only surprise was that it was Brosco that he was facing. I imagine he was at least wondering what McCally's James Howard would have to offer in the form of resistance. Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't think Feldman thought anything about who he was wrestling. Number one, it's the same person he faced in the finals the week before. Two, he just wrestles. He doesn't care about the bullshit. But we'll continue. Howard pinned DJ Mooring in the third place match and then yelled back in frustration to his coach as they passed the championship mat, stating, "This is where I am supposed to be." And I will tell you that is wrong. You were supposed to be in the third place match because you lost and got pinned in your semifinal. But we'll continue. The reason he was upset was because he was on the wrong end of the classic heavyweight quick pin in the semi with Brosco. Bullshit. Howard went to snap and go behind as Brosco ducked under and in a sloppy exchange ended up on top, catching Howard for the fall. Again, bullshit. Perhaps he should have been more cautious as Brosco had pinned his way through. I mean, the first almost truthful thing you said, but we're going to continue. And Howard had a tiny headlock scare from Gabe Moore in the quarter before finishing with a pin of his own. I did clarify that Howard is a senior, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about the rest. Let's get to the match. We're going to watch it through, and then we'll watch it in Super Chuckles Madden slow-mo. So, that is Billy in the red. That is the other kid. So, you just watch Billy took a high crotch. The kid went for something. Billy dumped him. Now, Billy has him on his back, and you can watch as he quits. He just gives up, and then he's pinned. That has nothing to do with Billy. So, now we're going to watch in Chuckles slow-mo. So, I'm going to slow this down. Hold on one second. If I remember how to do this. Sorry. Alright, we're going to back up a little bit. So, I just want to point out where Matt Scout Willie is just an absolute jackass, because this wasn't some roly-poly pin. This is something Billy's been doing his entire wrestling career. Alright? And it wasn't even what Matt Scout Willie even said it was. It wasn't he tried to snap him down. He did try to snap Billy down before, but Billy wasn't keen on letting him do that. And then Billy went for a shot. So, here's where we are. We're now going to go in super slow-mo right here. So, Billy had been pushing him around. Kid circles out. The kid tries to snap Billy down. Billy takes this as an opportunity to pop his head back up and then go for what he knows to do as we get to it. So he clears out of the snap. Billy goes for a high crotch. How do I know? because that's what he fucking does. You can see his hand right there. The kid sprawls out. I mean, does a decent job of defending the high crotch. Billy, now using what we call chain moves in Marple Newtown. I don't know where Matt Scout Willie ever learned how to wrestle, but this isn't sloppy. This is genius level shit on Billy Brasco's part. We'll call him the Brooklyn Bear, because fucking Matt Scout Willie's an idiot. So, he then goes, after his high crotch fails, kid sprawls out on him. He's going to pull down hard on that arm. He's going to dump him. He's then going to reach this hand up and finish the dump, as you're going to see. Boom. Just beautiful chain wrestling out of Billy Brasco. Nothing sloppy or fat bullshit that you're talking about with a heavyweight. And then you know what Billy does? He does what I fucking taught him as a little kid. He pulls his head out and he finishes it like a cement mixer, like I always taught him. Watch. Boom. Right for the fucking head. Do you see that? Do you see that, Matt Scout Willie? There ain't nothing sloppy about that. That's years of wrestling and wrestling knowledge he had in his part. But you know what? It shouldn't have been over for him there. But you know why it wasn't? Because he fucking quits on his back. Billy has him there. He's getting back points. He gets his 5 count, right? Can't pin him that way. Kid's fighting really tough. Good, he's got some fight in him. That's what a wrestler should have in him. But then Billy comes around to lock up the grapes because he realizes he ain't getting anything good for himself right there. That's a part of a sloppy part. If you want to call anything sloppy, it was when Billy jumps off of there but readjusts to then get parallel with him so he can stick him. And you'll watch as Billy tries to put all his pressure to push that shoulder down, and he doesn't even get there because he's fighting until Billy crosses up on the legs, gets parallel, and he quits. Billy's not exerting any pressure on his shoulder there. He's got pressure hip on hip, but the kid quits. And he sinks to his own back and quit. Didn't want any more of that fight. And Billy Brasco rightfully comes out with the pin in the national semifinals. As you can see there. That had nothing to do with anything sloppy. It had everything to do with the fact that Billy Brasco did what he was always trained to do, and that kid quit on his back and didn't belong in the finals. I don't care if you got caught in wrestling, you still lost. You got pinned. That means you didn't belong in the finals. Billy Brasco belonged in the finals. He belongs ranked higher. Matt Scout Willie did a disservice to this young man right here. And all the college scouts that are reading what Matt Scout Willie has to say, you did a disservice to Billy Brasco, who wrestled his ass off and then went out against arguably the best high school wrestler I have seen in my entire life and gave up a fight for 2 minutes. What could he do? Feldman's a friggin' machine. He's one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen. And you want to give this kid shit and discount what he did? Fuck you, Matt Scout Willie. Fuck yourself, pal. That's why Billy won. Has nothing to do with your